Hi, I'm Doug Mealy from Safer Handling, and I want to take some time out of my busy travelling schedule to talk to you today about the importance of refresher training, but in particular, refresher training of physical skills where positive handling, physical intervention or restraint are concerned. Now, all of our clients who are frontline education and care professionals or trainers for mental health, care or policing services, we work with them to refresh their training. Generally, we do something annually with them. Now, it might be the physical skills, or it might be some kind of toolbox talks where we focus on specific issues or we upskill them from their existing training. But annually, is that enough? Or is it excessive in some settings? Well, I asked this question of Colin Ash and Eric Baskind at a recent NFPS conference, and the answer I got was, the answer you're looking for isn't a number. And it's right, you can't say exactly how often to refresh every setting. So if you're a manager, head teacher, director, or you've got your own company, how do you go about this? Is there any legislation in place? Well, in order to look at this, we need to go back into the past. The Health and Safety at Work Act 1974 tells us that employers shall. Now, those of you with an awareness of the law will understand that shall means must. You've got to do this stuff. Shall provide information, instruction, training and supervision according to the level of risk that their employees face. If we come into the future to 1999, the Management of Health and Safety at Work regulations also tells us that training should be repeated periodically, or where there's a change, so new plants, new systems of work, an item of kit's been identified and staff need to be trained in it, or the level of risk changes. Now, how periodically? Well, you've got two schools of thought on this. You've got the people that aren't restraining. They're never using restraints, or very rarely. And they'll say, well, because we're not doing it, we need to practice. So we need to be able to refresh. Now that's right, because if we look at research that tells us where you are told something, you're shown it and you experience it, after as little as 3 months, you're only likely to retain 65% of the information. Now, is the opposite correct then? If you're restraining people all the time, in the streets, in cells, on wards, you're taking children out of classrooms day in, day out, or you're taking part in restraints and techniques that go on for prolonged periods of time, does that mean you'll be very good at it? Well, not necessarily, because memory is plastic, especially in children. I've got a 12-year-old boy. We were at a party the other day. A younger child opened a present. It was a colouring book. My son looked upset. I said, you okay? He said, yes, Daddy, can you get me a colouring book? I really want a colouring book. I said, okay. Yeah, I can get you a colouring book if you want. Maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow it'll have to be. And he said, good, because I've never, ever been bought a colouring book. And I could see people looking at me and, let's maybe get on the phone to Childline Esther Ranson, will be furious that this boy's been deprived of colouring books. But the truth of the matter is that boy has had colouring books. Amongst many other things, the amount of colouring books I've thrown out is unreal. But when somebody feels a certain way about something, they either strengthen or weaken a memory based on that projection of their amygdala. So what I'm saying here is, if staff are repeating things over and over again and it's difficult, human nature tells you to choose the way that feels the best. It might be the easiest way. It might not necessarily be the most correct way of performing a technique. So practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. If you practice doing something incorrectly enough times, you'll get very, very good at performing a technique incorrectly.